David, Donald Trump is increasingly talking about giving businesses immunity from coronavirus related lawsuits. Does this make sense, or should employees always be able to sue and seek damages from their employer if they were to catch coronavirus as a result of being back at work? Listen, this is really a complicated issue from a logistical sense, from a legal sense, where you have to understand, well, what is the current liability that employers have? Is catching coronavirus the same as an unsafe warehouse where you get run over by a forklift because the forklift didn't make the beeping noise and have the red light that it's supposed to have, and steel-toed shoes weren't required, right? These are very different questions. When it comes to something like coronavirus, if you go to work and you catch coronavirus and everybody was behaving safely and the employer has opened in accordance with CDC guidelines and state guidelines for, okay, employees need masks and the employees had masks. There should be X number of sanitation stations. If all the rules are being adhered to and people catch coronavirus, it's very difficult to say that the employer should be liable for that, particularly when the contagion may have happened because of some random customer or who knows. It's a very difficult legal question. But should there be some blanket immunity for employers? Of course not. Of course not. We have an infrastructure for determining when an employer is or is not liable for something that happens to an employee or to a customer on the premises. It is very robust legislation. It is very established. There is no shortage of cases of all kinds about employers who failed to protect employees and customers, or who were sued, but it was determined they actually did take the proper precautions. The danger here is that for political reasons and for the purposes of furthering what has become a culture war over coronavirus, Donald Trump is seeking to give blanket immunity for anything coronavirus related that happens in their place of business when they reopen. And what this is really about is employers who are not following the guidelines that Trump wants to see have immunity, so that they will just open up even when it is not yet safe to do so on the basis of the guidelines that have been put in place. This is about Trump wanting to give a carte blanche sort of situation to employers that want to reopen. And even though the state says you need masks, they don't want their employees to wear masks. And in some cases may even tell their employees no masks whatsoever. So for me, the last thing we need is any blanket immunity for employers. But I am sensitive to the reality that your employer can be doing the right thing and you might get coronavirus, versus your employer might not be doing the right thing. Those are the situations that need to be adjudicated. Listen, here's the reality. If you're an essential worker at a grocery store and you continue working, we know that the longer you are in places where the virus is circulating, your odds of contracting it go way, way up. Spending 15 minutes with a mask on at Trader Joe's, even if there are people in there with the virus, is not hugely likely to end up with you getting the virus. Spending 8 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week there, even with a mask, dramatically still sees an increase in the chance that you get it. Does that mean the employer is acting inappropriately and should be sued? No, not necessarily. What I do think is that essential workers should be compensated additionally for the fact that they are essential and are often some of the least well-paid people. That's a battle I'll have all day long. But if employers really are being safe, we have a system that would adjudicate that and would say, this lawsuit has no merit. The employer did the right thing. Everybody did the right thing. We have a contagious situation. If grocery stores should have been closed, that's a bigger governmental call that should have been made. But we don't need any special dispensation, as the case may be, from Donald Trump or the federal government to shield a priori employers, because employers may take advantage of that, and some will take advantage of it, to have deliberately unsafe conditions that they believe are better for them in the short and maybe medium term. You could say, listen, over the long term, if all your employees get sick and a bunch of them die, it's bad for PR. You're not going to have employees. Okay, there are lots of industries that have such turnover as it is that they regularly have a stable of applicants and they can bring people in quickly and train them relatively quickly for relatively unskilled labor, many businesses would not really be concerned about that. So no blanket immunity. We have a system that can determine, is this a valid claim or is this what we would call a frivolous claim? They don't need any special bailout. It's part of the culture war. It's part of this haphazard desire to open the economy fully, immediately, regardless of what the repercussions are. In my experience, any blanket immunities for corporations from future lawsuits are bad news. I am open to the idea that sometimes they are okay. I looked today for examples, couldn't find any. If you have an example, absolutely let me know. We have a great bonus show for you today. I hope you will be there. Get a membership at joinpakman.com to get instant access. And remember, you can sign up for free for the daily audio podcast of the show. A lot of people don't know there's a daily hour-long podcast. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher. You can find the feed link on our website. It's available. Make sure you're signed up for that. Pat's got the bonus show today. I'll be back on Monday. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.